Oh my.
Where's that button? I am all confused. Yeah, that's over there. This is over here. And I think that's right. Is that the thing? Hey there, friends. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Whatever time it might be in your part of the world.
Greetings, my excellent friend.
It is so good to see you. My name is Jeff Fritz, and today is February 13th, 2025, and we're going to write a little code today. Jeremy!
Jeremic _me just
we're going to have this problem today.
For 60 months. Good morning.
So,
have a great stream.
All of my audio settings got tossed to the wind because I did an update to Windows here. And all of, for those of you that don't know, when you have many audio devices, look, why the heck is my video? Nah, not new hat. No, when you update to a new version of Windows, all of your audio settings, all of your audio configuration, everything that you have set up for managing connecting to your various audio devices just gets completely trashed, completely discarded, rebuilt. Random things are pointing to random things. And when you're running a live stream like this, yeah, there's so much stuff that is configured and customized, and it sometimes just flat doesn't work. And that's annoying. That's really, really annoying. So, working on it. We'll get stuff back running here. Yeah, I'm not. Where is it? The stream elements alerts. They're over here. Yeah, this is going to take. The stream elements alerts are not going to come through right away. We'll see. We will see. Let me get caught up. Let me say hello to everybody here in chat. They're right over here. We're broadcasting live on Twitch and YouTube. So you can join on either platform, and chat flows back and forth between them. So let me greet everybody here. C Sharp Titan, good evening to you in Melbourne. Hello, you just did the update on Visual Studio. I have Visual Studio updating in the background. I meant to do it yesterday afternoon, but meetings, and good meetings. I think I can share some of that. How you doing there? Code with Sean. Billy Cool with Big Waves. Good morning to you. Surly Dev, good afternoon to you. Hello, hello. Robson Previato is here. Some folks were trying the hat command, and for some reason, the hat app didn't start here for me. You could, yep, it's my Pizza Planet hat. There you go, to infinity and beyond. I've had this hat for a while. It's just been hiding in the back of the box here. So yeah, and the alerts, they're not going to be playing properly here for a bit, just because nonsense. All the yeah, you know, this is the way it is. It does not wire back up nicely. Smirking Squiggly, happy Thursday to you. Jeremy Knight, thank you so much for the resub. 60 months with that Prime. Thank you so much for that support. And we want to do hamsters. Yeah, we'll get there. Yeah, the Windows update from February 11. Yep. Are we trashing Windows? We're not trashing Windows so much as this is a known issue that has not been fixed, where it completely forgets your audio settings when there's an update and it does not restore those audio settings. So, how you doing there, Mythin? Hello. Yes, you can say hello to YouTube. No, we can do that in a bit. Are the features that I use from Restream paid? No, because I only restream to one other service, so I don't need to pay for it. I did have a subscription to Restream, but they changed their platform, so and how things were being allocated, so I don't need to worry about that. Terry is here on YouTube, asking how's the Philly fan feeling this week? Must have been a great week. Oh, it's been a fantastic week. As a Philadelphia sports fan, it is amazing when your team wins a championship. It's always amazing. I don't care where you are in the world, when the team you support wins the league championship, when they get promoted. It's such a great feeling. So much, yeah, right? You feel proud of the team that you've been supporting, all the hard work that the team's gone through, that you've watched and followed for how long, finally pays off. It's a huge deal, and it feels so good to see that team, to see your side that you support so successful. So to see our Philadelphia Eagles club victorious in the Super Bowl was amazing. It's going to be a lot of fun to see all the midnight green, that dark green that the Eagles wear in the various places that we go. So when the Eagles won the Super Bowl in 2018, I made it a point to wear Super Bowl champions shirts when I went and presented at various conferences for the rest of that year. I made a point of that, particularly at the Microsoft MVP Summit, because I wanted to make sure that our Seattle friends knew who was on top now. So, oh man, I'm enjoying some coffee here. We're getting things started. Let me see. Mythin says, doing good. Currently learning .NET MAUI. .NET MAUI is underappreciated, and at the same time, there's a maturity that it's going through. As it grows, as it advances, there are so many features that need to be built and added to that. And as an open source project, they have the team from oh my gosh, it's one of the vendors, one of the control vendors is helping out there, and I'm blanking on their name. They have a team, another team helping them out now, dedicated, because it is an open source framework. Really great to see how it's growing and advancing, and they've been making a lot of progress quickly, collaborating together. No, not Uno. Right now, I forget who it is. It is Syncfusion. The folks from Syncfusion are helping out there, and it's terrific to see how much of an impact they've been able to make to help grow that. So, C# Titan asks, how does Microsoft name their Visual Studio software? We're in 2025, and Visual Studio is still 2022. So there's a major version release of the various products, right? When Windows was being released back in 1995, it had a year name that was snapped to it for Windows 95. There were service packs, there were updates that were released in 1996, 1997, and they snapped to a major release in 1998, and they called it Windows 98. Those versions, those minor patches that came out in 1996 and 1997 didn't cause them to change the name of the product. They kept the product name the same. So the same thing's going on here, right? It happened with Office. It happens with Windows Server. There's patches and updates, and those don't change the name of it. It's still that same major version. So we're still on the major version of Visual Studio that was released in 2022. Before that, it was 2019, 2017. I was involved in all three of those versions. 2015, I was a little bit involved with. No, I was involved with Visual Studio 2015. So 4 versions of Visual Studio that I contributed to in one level or another. And right, 2015, before that it was 2013 and 2012. 2010, we had Visual Studio 2008, 2005, 2003, and then Visual Studio 1. VisualStudio.net was the one before that. Let me get some music playing in the background here. I'm going to go with the Stream Beats Synthwave playlist here because we're going to just do some groovy coding today that's going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to start down here on the grid. This is music that's DMCA free. It's royalty free. Listen to it wherever you'd like. I have it playing in the background here to kind of fill the gaps as we're talking and having a good time, writing code, talking about tech together. Big thanks to Harris Heller and his team of creators for putting this music together we're listening to today. So, Mythin never really liked XAML, but .NET MAUI most certainly isn't that slow framework anymore. Yeah, it's not. So, yeah, Visual Studio 2022, it's named after the last major release, and there are minor versions, minor updates that are released roughly every quarter. And we saw the latest version come out here. The latest update, it was released yesterday afternoon? The 1713 went final. Now, I always use the preview versions here on stream. I always show off and work with the latest preview versions here. And it looks like my installer is hanging. Looks like it's hanging. Installing a feature here. Let me close this. Definitely got to close that. I don't know what that was over here. Ah, there it goes. All right. It was hanging at like 62%. But it's going to be annoying if it doesn't finish. It's going to be really annoying. Do not accept your PR. Okay. I won't. Let me go reopen the Visual Studio installer and kick it off again. Yes, you're going to be making modifications. Go ahead. Let me catch up here. Carlos from Colombia. How you doing over there on YouTube? Welcome. Carl Codes. How you doing? Good to see you. Congrats. Thank you so much to Carl Codes. Appreciate the congratulations there. It wasn't. Congratulations to the team. As a fan, I'm thrilled to see it. I'm not familiar with what PR you're referring to. Yeah. Robson says, the other day I see you saying about Radzen Blazor. They're amazing. Do I use it in any project? I do not. I do not use the Radzen components. I'm not opposed to bringing in those components, but I'm not sold on any place that I need it just yet. Yeah. No. Let's see. Ice Cream Stick Model says, I do not like the Windows 10 11 feature update naming 22H1, 22H2. Why not call those Service Pack 1, Service Pack 2? They're naming it after when it was released. They're half semesters, they're half year indicators. So 23H2 was released on the second half of 2023. Windows versions have always had the year embedded in it, right? Like if you go run WinVer right now on your system, it'll say version 20 something H1 H2. So yeah, that's a thing. So happy Thursday to you, Weird Beard Dev. How you doing? There it goes. Now it's moving along here. McNett says, sent me a PM on Discord. I don't see... Okay, I'll take a look at that. I will hold off on that. I wasn't going to take a look and go over to test accountability today. I was going to focus a little bit on SharpSite. So, is it my birthday? No, it's not my birthday. No. Hey, how you doing there, Wise Otter? Why didn't that turn into emotes? Smirking Squiggly, yeah. Visual Studio 2022 as the product name is here to stay. If and when they release a new version of Visual Studio, it's not going to be named 2022, right? If they decide at some point, hey, there's new things we want to do, we want to make a major change, a major breaking change, it's not going to be named Visual Studio 2022, right? They could call it Visual Studio whatever, right? Visual Studio GPT. No, don't do that. So, yeah, there's the emotes. Yeah, for some reason, Wise Otter's C# Wave didn't come through. Hey, CTI Geek. Very icy and powered down Virginia. It's not... I mean, it is icy here. It's almost 40 Fahrenheit here in Philadelphia area. So we're okay. You still have many CDs on Visual Studio since the .NET 1.1 days. Yeah. Visual Studio Vista. There you go, right there. That's what the product should be named. They should call it Visual Studio Code. Am I already testing the new SQL Server 2025? No, I am not. Visual Studio XP, Visual Studio NT, Visual Studio 2025 AI Pro Ultra. No. Okay. Let me... All right, good. I'm all right with that. There we go. What happened? Did it work? Yeah, there it is. Yeah, that was weird. Why it didn't work? You're clearly subscribed, and it didn't pop the emote the previous time. Visor XL AI to go faster stripes. So the visor device, they're saying they're all going to be shipped in March, and the team has gone quiet on their Discord. They were getting a lot of flack from folks for some of the messaging that was being put out there, and people were spinning and twisting things. And it quite frankly, it's not fair to a small company of 100, 200 people. So they're working diligently to finish that up. There we go. Visual Studio update is done. Yeah, we're good. So, Visual Studio 365. Read the other day that Azure Data Studio will be discontinued. Visual Studio Code with the database extensions. I read that as well. It kind of makes sense because Azure Data Studio really was Visual Studio Code with just a different plugin to set up the editor. So to take those plugins and just bring them over to Visual Studio Code Sure, I get it. My problem is when I open Visual Studio Code then in the future, I'm going to want to be in SQL Server mode or MySQL. I'm going to want to be in database mode and have that separate from my code so that I've got two windows going and interacting with that. So I know I can start multiple instances of Visual Studio Code, but I feel like there's a profile that I'm going to want to turn on there. This is my C# coding profile. This is my Postgres database coding profile, and have just those extensions appropriate for that profile loaded and configured for me. You have profiles for different languages. So, right, but it goes to the additional question of what extensions are loaded and configured more than just user interface configuration. So, or a workspace configuration. Let me see here. First time around here, is it Apatoria Dev? Welcome. You have a question. So you're creating a .NET course mentorship route. You have all the documentation from Roadmap and the original documentation. What topic do I believe should spend more time than usual in .NET development? Teaching and giving folks .NET development guidance? Thinking about it now, here at the beginning of February 2025, because I know this is recorded, and there's going to be sometime in 2028, somebody's going to watch this and go, "You fool!" I would say telemetry. .NET developers have pretty much thrown away logging. Like, it's logging, just bring in an iLogger thing and every now and again write a message over to it. The telemetry capabilities that are now available inside of .NET with OpenTelemetry, with the logger interfaces, setting up and producing and logging metrics are extremely valuable and underutilized. And that's one of the great things that .NET Aspire brings to us is we're just going to configure all these things by default for you with sensible defaults so that you start to get some good logging, and we'll give you the ability to dial it up, dial it down, the verbosity of that information, and extension points so that you can add your own. I say this a lot, and folks that have seen my presentations on .NET Aspire, you've heard me say this. .NET Aspire configures and gives you things that you want in your applications, but you don't want to build. And telemetry is one of them. You want logging. You want performance reporting and tracing and metrics being reported. You want that, but it's a pain in the neck to build. Health checks, these types of things. And as we look at more and more of those features, telemetry is something that, in my mind, we can teach folks to use and introduce early in processes so that it lights up and does more telemetry logging, management, creation, so that by default, in all the rest of the code that you have out there, it does a magnificent job logging and giving you that data that you need. That data that the telemetry give you is like air, right? I make this comparison a lot too. You don't know you need it, and you don't care about it until you don't have it. Same thing goes for telemetry. You really like it when you want it, when you need it, but you don't want to build it. So if we can make that easier for folks to integrate with, work with, it's going to go a long way. Carlos on YouTube says, I completely agree with you about how it feels when your team wins. Yes, Carlos, right? And I'm sure folks who support international football, my gosh, yes. And right, as an American, not having seen our team win the FIFA World Cup, when that finally happens, it'll happen at some point. Might not happen until much later in my lifetime. But when it finally does happen, my Lord, there's going to be a significant appreciation of football that goes up from this country. That said, though, we're still struggling to win a gold medal in ice hockey again. We're pretty good in ice hockey. But the Canadians, the Russians, the Swedes, it's tough getting through you to get through there. Yep, ads have kicked in here. I'm waiting for my ad banner to pop up to remind me, hey, look, there's ads running. Okay, keeping an eye on some things here. Is it Heresico? How many .NET developers are actually developing on Macs in my circle of friends, coworkers? See, these aren't popping up. I can see it making the noise here, but it's not coming through in my monitor. Give me 1 second here. Ah, there it is. That's why.
Oh my.
I know you heard that, but I didn't hear it. Darn it. All right. You actually love that topic. It's underrepresented, and it's something that will go a long way. How many folks are actually developing on Macs? A significant number of folks on the .NET team are building .NET on Macs. I can't give you an exact number, but I can tell you there are a significant number of folks on the .NET team that use Mac laptops. MVPs, RDs, other influencers. There are a number of them that are building and developing on Macs. I couldn't tell you exactly how many, but the Mac laptop is definitely present amongst them. So might be in about the same number as folks that are working on Surface laptops. So, but it's definitely present out there. Chat room. Whether you're on YouTube, you're on Twitch, do me a favor, drop a 1 in chat if you work with .NET on a Mac. Let's help out our friend Heresico here. Drop a 1 in chat if you work with .NET on a Mac. Okay? So, of course, somebody writes 2. So I see a couple folks here. Okay. So, and we've got about 80, 90 people watching right now across both platforms. So there's a couple folks. So you have many friends who are not fazed by Aspire. I'm sorry. They think it's a gimmick. Really? What is the best way to sell it to them and convince them it's a good thing for their apps? Let me see here. You've seen telemetry implemented in a project and you agree, OT, it's awesome. Yeah. Telemetry is overrated. 4 days later, where's my telemetry? Exactly. Bauxite, good to see you. Use VS Code to develop .NET applications, Blazor and Maui apps on a Mac. Rider is fine as well. So happy Thursday, Digital Drummer J. Apatoria Dev, thank you so much. Yeah, see, the sound effects aren't coming through. So I'm not going to be able to pay attention with the configuration here, but there you go. Do teams at Microsoft work independently or do they collaborate closely? Teams like GitHub, Visual Studio, and Azure.
Every little helps to the Azure build.
Yes and no. Phil, thank you so much for the cheer. Ooh, that was a good one. Thank you so much. 250 bits. Much appreciate that support. Thank you so much. We've got a hype train going on. We're at a level 1 hype train. 4.5 minutes to try and get to level 2. let me back up, and I'm gonna. I purposely skipped over the question from C# Titan. I have many friends who are not fazed by Aspire. They think it's a gimmick. So, how can you sell it to them and convince them it's a good thing? First off, Aspire does all the things that you want in your application, but don't want to build. Thank you so much for that cheer. Oh my goodness. Appreciate the cheer there, Apatoria Dev. So how can I sell it to you and convince them that it's a good thing for their apps? We're using it to build SharpSite here live. We've used it to build Aspirify.net, that website all about .NET Aspire, live on channel. We've extended .NET Aspire to add things in like ClamAV. We've used it to quickly and easily deploy Aspirify.net. We've used .NET Aspire to poke around and try other things. And I'm going to show you, not today, but I'm going to show you in an upcoming stream here before the end of the month, how I use .NET Aspire to build Project Charlie, my next generation chatbot that uses Ollama to interact with your chat messages, to not just read your chat messages, but to respond to them as well. More about that coming up. And it's not a gimmick, and I can say this with full confidence. And I don't think I'm out of line saying this, but I have yesterday I have been added to the program management team for .NET Aspire. So it's I'm not changing jobs, but it's another part of my responsibilities that I'm taking on, and I will be now contributing with that team in addition to all the other things I do. So there's a dedicated group of folks here that are building and growing this. We believe that .NET Aspire is the foundation that that gives your application all of these professional features that you want, so that you're not starting off with a blank sheet of paper. It doesn't matter if you're building a website or a little console application or you're building a game, right? You need to connect to other things besides just that little application. You're connecting to a database. You're connecting to some API service out on the cloud somewhere. Even if you're not connecting to anything, being able to get the telemetry reported out and in a dashboard where you can start to work with it as a developer is extremely valuable. Thank you so much for the resub. 21 months. For 21 months. Walkson, thank you so much. So there's a lot around .NET Aspire that you can do, and we're going to tweak and have some fun with it here today, doing a couple things to it. But Penflinger asks, do teams work independently or do they collaborate closely? Depends. Folks from GitHub work closely with the Visual Studio and Visual Studio Code teams to build Copilot integrations. Folks from Azure that build and manage the Azure services work closely with the Azure Developer Experience teams so that they can build appropriate libraries and tools so that you can code and work with their services that they're managing. So, yes. and there are splinter groups that straddle each of these product areas, right? There's teams on the Visual Studio product line that collaborate and work closely with GitHub. There's folks that work closely with .NET who help build the libraries to connect to the Azure services. Final Stack with the resub. Final seconds here, 3% short of that hype train. We're not going to make it. Ah, gosh. That's okay. Thank you so much for the support there, friends. Really appreciate it. Catching up here. Let me see. Ocular Malice, good morning. You've been looking for customization for AZD, but can't find it. Customization. For example, with AZD up, I need to be able to specify the resource group. There you go. Go ahead, take that. but you don't see options for this. It prompts you for it when you do AZD and init. It prompts you for some of that stuff. So. Barramin, thank you for the follow. I don't know why this stinks that the sound effects aren't coming through. I'm really not happy about this. You know? Here.
Oh my.
Yep, that's not coming through. I see it, but I'm not hearing it. Apricot, greetings to you. Hope you're doing well. Hope things are staying safe there. Oh, come on. Maybe we'll get it this time. Do they run Visual Studio on a VM? Some folks do. Yes. Ocular Mouse says, when I was an MVP, I worked exclusively on Macs, even though I worked with SharePoint and .NET. There you go. All right. And there's the Red Pizza Planet hat description. There you go. Best thing about Aspire, clone repo, hit F5, go. Yes. Single entry point for .NET Aspire is fantastic. You can do the same thing with Docker Compose. No, you can't. No. No. You can't. Docker Compose. Yeah, Docker Dispose. Docker Compose does not give you the service discovery capabilities. Right? Docker Compose requires you to code in YAML. Docker Compose does not give you syntax checking. Does not give you any assurances before you go to try and run it. Yeah. Your only problem with Aspire is that it takes the fun out of maintaining your own stack. I would argue that it makes maintaining your own stack so much easier because it's now in C#. And it's really easy to pull that stuff together. Like, bring in your own Docker containers. Making things easy is a fun killer. Okay. You have to have the right mindset as you get older. Not many bother learning new things. Totally agree. You recently started a new Aspire project, says Phil. Can I talk through what the service defaults project for? Sure. Service defaults. The service defaults project. Well, here, let's bring that up and we can look at that in SharpSite, right? Because that's code that everybody has access to, and you can see how some of this works together here. I'll get that loaded up. Catching up here. There's no .NET bindings for libjpeg turbo. Libjpeg turbo. I'm not familiar with that library. It prompts you for things like the subscription, but not the resource group. It creates and names it. I forget exactly where that is, but it does prompt you for it when you run AZD. Yeah. Like, it asks for a name for the deployment, and I think it names it RG- and then the name of the deployment that you gave it. Barramin says, a dev friend just talked to them about me. You're discovering .NET Framework and started loving it. Big hug from Switzerland. Thank you, Barramin. That's very kind. It's somewhere up here. Much appreciate. Welcome in. We're going to go jump over and take a look at some code here so we can talk about and answer this question about the service defaults project. So this is SharpSite, project that we've been working on here on the stream. And as we take a look here, there it is, service defaults, right here, this project. What is the service defaults project in .NET Aspire, and do I need it? And it's right here. It's only got this one method in it called extensions. And what service defaults does is described right here on the top line. It adds service discovery, resilience, health checks, and open telemetry. And there's a link here to give you more information about this. This block of text comes in the default template. So I'll share that link. So if you're watching on YouTube, if you're watching on Twitch, you can go learn more about this. But you can see here, it configures OpenTelemetry, adds default health checks, adds service discovery, and adds HTTP client defaults, including resilience. Hey, I tried to connect to this API, this microservice, and it didn't connect the first time. Retry it again in a half a second. Still didn't connect. Retry it again in 2 seconds. And it has sensible backoffs configured inside of here. And then service discovery for the HTTP client. So you can refer to other services by their service name, and you don't have to type localhost : port number, and that port number changes all the time. No. Service discovery is baked in by default. And you can see exactly how it's configuring. Like here, it's going to do metrics for ASP.NET Core, for our website running, for the HTTP client connecting to things, and to the .NET runtime. By default, it adds that. To all projects where you add this one statement, add service defaults. And you can scroll through here, and it's easy to add more features that you want to propagate throughout your entire application system inside of here. The telemetry exporter is here, so you have one place to specify, hey, go use this endpoint to publish to, or maybe you want to use application insights. Here's some code for that. There's also documentation if you want to export it to Prometheus and use Grafana to create dashboards for that. The default health checks capabilities, it's easy to extend and add your own health checks, and default endpoints for health and alive URLs. So, great stuff that this comes by default in the default template with .NET Aspire. You launched a small server on ESP32 via Nina framework. It was fun. Hey, that's cool. All right. Carl Codes on YouTube says Docker Compose is awesome, but you can't do the same thing. Yeah, Docker Compose is not even 10-15% of what .NET Aspire does. So it's some of it, but there's so much more to it. You're trying to use ImageSharp to write timestamps to frames, but it's too slow. Tried searching for libjpeg turbo bindings. You want to write timestamps to frames in a video, right? I'm assuming in timestamps on frames in a video. That's what you're describing, I think. Yeah, that's going to be slow. That's going to be pretty much slow no matter what. To do that on the fly like that. And of course, YAML. YAML is the challenge with Docker Compose for everybody. If you aren't writing a makefile for your .NET project, I don't know what you're doing. Stop it. Yes. Thank you, Ocular Mouse, for the link. There's the service defaults link. Hey, Eddie Dre, hello. Yep, the .NET Aspire for Beginners series that I created. Yes. You're still waiting for Aspire in F#. You think it'd be a good fit? Sure. You can still use Aspire in F#. Would love to see first-party F# Aspire offshoot. Well, I think you're describing an F# app host, I think is what you're looking for. Maybe. So if I have that, I can drop this line, service at HTTP client. Yes. Yeah, I think you can do that, yes. But why? It's configured by default. It's when you say add service defaults, it's already added for you. So, hey, web dev guy, very tempted to add Aspire to an existing project. Oh, it's great. Yes. Give it a try. Compose also doesn't claim to be doing the same thing. It's like saying, well, you can do it in assembly. Yeah. How do native cameras do it? Do they just memcopy precompiled binary data over the frames? So if you're doing it in the hardware, right? As they've got native compiled code, and as that frame is being processed, it's adding it. OBS, the tool that you see here that I'm presenting, this is all native code that is integrating and stitching together the pieces of video here. So is .NET with Image Sharp going to get you the ability to do that live? I don't know. I wouldn't think so. Let me see here. If I add service defaults, I don't need to do that. You got it. Yep, you got it. No, that's fine what Jeremy wrote. Hey, well, F# has Farmer. It does a lot of what Aspire does. I'm not familiar with Farmer. How much Aspire hides does for you? Aspire to containers will be the same thing as EF to ADO. Maybe. I wouldn't say that it hides. I wouldn't say .NET Aspire hides. Everything is open source, and the code for this type of configuration is right here. So I kind of bristle at the idea that that things are hidden, because right, in one breath, oh, that's hiding how it's building, packaging, and passing along information from me. Passing along information from the database into the website. Well, you can certainly decompile and look at the code, but at the same time, if you want a higher level language with abstractions that do things for you, to create that magical higher level set of APIs, it is going to push some of those low level concerns down. Now, you can always customize this. There are ways that, and they've made the APIs very clear about how you can customize and change and enhance how this works. All of those APIs are out there, but if you want that higher level of abstraction that allows you to express and do more with less code, then it is going to hide things. But you do have the ability to unpack and customize as much as you'd like. So, hey, now we're hearing it, Jens!
Jens was just resubscribed for 39 months. Hey Fritz, thanks for yet a month of crucial information and chill co-working.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. Yeah. Much appreciate the support there. The boys over at Compositional IT do a fantastic job. Visual Studio can decompile DLLs too, so you can drill down. Sure, right? I can just put my cursor over with reference and press F12, and it will navigate to the definition of that. And if it doesn't have the code locally, it will decompile and show you exactly what's going on. You can see here it says this tab is this color because the extension is CS, but it also says decompiled. And here's exactly what it's done. Right, I can clearly see how it interacts. So, all right. Echu. Hello. With external HTTP endpoints, is that just for when it comes to deployments? Yes. That, right? That sets up the ingress. So that website can be accessed externally. Yep. So. All right. The alert had echo on it. Oh. I know where that is. That should do. Yeah, code we don't have to write exactly, Eric. All right. I want to go in, so some of the things that we have hanging out here, default theme, not going to get to that just yet. Frequent requests to the database. We started investigating this, and we got a little wrapped up last time, and I'm going to actually just bail out of that for right now. No, don't bring the changes. Stash them. There we go. Create a release process that delivers a container. So we also added playwright tests into the project. Right? We have this end-to-end testing capability down here. And the only way to really run this properly is with the PowerShell script. And that's kind of like swinging a sledgehammer to run these tests. I want to be able to run these tests from my dashboard. Because if the dashboard's running, then the website's running. So just start up the website tests and go run them. So what if I could do that from the dashboard? What if we could extend the dashboard to add a command so that we can run the tests and get that output in a console window somewhere? That'd be kind of cool. That'd be kind of cool. So that's what I think I want to do. So check this out. Here's the website starting up, going to get running. There's my database running, right? This is all .NET Aspire, right? These are features that come in the box. And I can see how things are starting up. I can take a look at the metrics of... Why aren't you showing? There's the front, the website. And I can see how the website is running here, right? Of course, we can see the console for the website. Hello. It's right there. Show me. You're not going to... What? 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 Where'd it go?
Houston, we have a problem.
What the heck happened? Like, nothing's running in the background. Hello. Welcome. Yeah. Restart that, John. There it is. Okay. No matter. Why is somebody was asking why is that one HTTPS? Because we run everything. Is it Sarah? We run everything locally with HTTPS so that we can be sure that all of our secure connections are going to work when we get into our production space. So if we can run locally with HTTPS, let's do it. So I can run my playwright tests, right? Now that the site is running, I can actually go down here to my end-to-end tests, and I could say, where is it? Run tests. But there it's grayed out. So why not give me the ability to run those tests from the dashboard? Yeah, use HTTPS everywhere. It's there. Fantastic. Well, here's the thing, right? And this is something that I haven't done and I want to learn with you live on stream. You see the little ellipsis button out here? When you click into that, there's a series of commands that are available. And we can customize and add on to these additional features. So I want to add to the one for the website down here. I want to add a button in here that says run end-to-end tests. And just figure out what that does. And maybe it doesn't report into this interface, but it gives me a little console window that shows me here's the end-to-end tests running. So that's what I'd like to wire up today. All right. And I'm going to try and do this without doing any research, because that's how I roll. Let's go over here to program for the app host and see if we can run GitHub Copilot chat here and get it to do some of this work for us. I'd like a new chat window, please. I'd like a, what's this? Create new thread, create new edits. Sure. Let's add a custom command to, no. Yeah, to the website that will run the tests in the E2E project. Let's see what it says. All right, so to add a custom command to the website that will run the tests, create a new endpoint in the Blazor project to trigger the end-to-end tests, implement the logic to run the tests when the endpoint is hit. No. Yes, that's what I want to do, but I don't want to run it as an API. No. No, that's not it. No, I want to add this as a custom .NET Aspire command. Let's see what it does. See if we can find that. Ads are done. Found 3 results. Fantastic. Define a custom command class. Yes. .NET test, path to end-to-end testing project. Redirect standard output, standard error, sure. Create no window. Okay. That's what I'm looking for. There we go. So where's it registering it? I don't see where it's... Right, they defined the run end-to-end test command. Where is it down here? Oh, builder add command. All right, let's try some of this. So here, let's insert this into as a new file. Don't mind if I do. Where are you writing this, John? Like, sure, that looks like it's a thing. Give me a chance to save it somewhere. I'm going to put it in source, app host. That looks good. Which, there it is right there. Is that a thing? I aspire command? I don't think it is. Using aspire.commands, is that a thing? Copilot edits the middle icon top right. I have tried it. I'm kind of frustrated that there's like 3 different ways to trigger the exact same feature with Copilot. I don't think this is going to run. Yeah. No, that's not a thing. Review the code in this file and add any references or correct references as needed. Yeah. Let's see what it finds. Yep, that's the custom resource commands. And I wanted to try and do this with Copilot, but yeah, this looks like it's it hallucinated all. Iteration 1. What is that? You're gonna... You made the entire thing gray. No. Mm-mm. That's not it. Okay. I'm sorry, I think I need to take this phone call. Give me 1 second here. Somebody spoofing a number of a vendor that I've been having fits with. Wonderful. Wonderful. So this syntax that it generated is completely bogus. Completely bogus. It hallucinated the whole thing. And some of this in here probably will work. But it was completely hallucinated, and this doesn't work at all. This isn't a thing. Okay. Not terrible. You called a client and yeah, that weird beard, yeah. I suspect that's going to happen. As more and more of these. And more of the, yeah. And anyways, let's move on from that nonsense. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to turn this into a static class. Sure, I guess that's all right to start. And I'm going to turn this into, so the reference that was shared, try switching the model. No. I'm going to set this up so that we get this same extension here. and we will do this little bit of configuration here so that I think, right? I mean, heck, let's just copy that bit of syntax. And public static async task run tests. And I could probably make this private. With run E2E tests command. And I want to hang this off of, right, the project resource. Right? With command name, display name, run end to end tests. Builder context. Might not need all of that, but update state on update resource state. Where does that come from? On update resource state. I don't mind bringing that over. We'll see what it does. Icon. Animal rabbit off. I have no idea what that is. AKA MS Fluent UI system. I would love to be able to click that. But that's not linkable. And it's in here. There it is. That thing. Icon catalog. Now we can set this. What's today's goal? I'm going to set up so that we can run the tests from the dashboard, and then we're going to do our Docker file generation. So it said, close that. Close U2. I don't know what you're doing, but I'm closing U2. I don't know. What? Go away. I'm trying to close things here. Animal rabbit off. What? I don't see. I see off filled, off regular. And then icon variant filled. Oh boy. Okay. So what icon do I want for testing? Let's do book globe. Sure. Okay. So to run test, .NET test, and then path to the end-to-end project. Well, is it this? E2E. Where's my console? I don't have one up yet. Give me a console. Right? SharpSite.e2e. See if that works. Process start, read, end-to-end test output. I don't know if any of this stuff works. Let's just take a look. Sure. That should build now. No, maybe not. We can do that. Where is it still referencing Redis? So now back over here. Yeah, there it is. And let's see if that gives me a... Nope. Don't care. And it's not using that anywhere. What's the error? Can I convert lambda expression to an intended delegate type because some of the return types are not implicitly convertible? It should return an execute command result. Okay. Task. Execute command result. I don't know what that means, but sure. Not all paths return a value, so I need to return whatever execute command result is. That looks good. Sure. Sure. Once again, it's hallucinating. I already had you try to do that, Copilot. No. And there is no execute command result success. Yeah. So that's not a thing. Really? New execute command. Come on now. Is that a thing? Is that the syntax? That's not the syntax. That's not the syntax. Okay. So we need to change this to that. And what was the other one? Developers. Raccoon Games, welcome. So that looks like it's correct? Yeah, it okay. Developers. Starting. Thank you for the follows. Okay, that says it's running. So now if I click this over here, I get run end to end. You can't see it. Run end-to-end tests. Let's see what happens. I don't know what this is over here. Let's try running that. Yeah. Executing command, run end-to-end tests. It's doing work. I don't know what it's doing, but it's doing something. Okay, there's a test fail. No. User logged in. Mm-mm. So it did something. Like it's running it, but it's all munged in with the web application. I'm keeping an eye on things over here. Okay. So there it's just logging information. I don't think I need this part. But I also don't think... I was hoping to see test results being written here, but I don't see that happening. Let's stop. I don't need that. Okay. What other things can I put in here? So update command state context. And that's just writing to the logger. What else do we have here that we can tinker with? Resource snapshot. So we have the health reports, the state, the health status, volumes, properties, environment variables. Oh, so we can change an environment variable or grab an environment variable. And we could grab a URL. That's interesting because our tests... I don't need that, but... But if the resource is healthy, then the resource command, yeah. But this I don't need. see if we can put something right there and catch this thing running. Hey, Napalm. But the point, the idea here, I think, is valid. To be able to call the end-to-end test here. I can't believe I got the address for that correct. All right? Executing command run end-to-end tests. So it's actually starting a browser and running it in the context of this. And iterating through it. Meeting heavy day? Oh, I know those. Oh, I know those. All right. Here we go. Process exit code is 1. And it was that unit test fail. The output, though, I think we still want to write the output. Right? It's writing just that 1 and saying that test failed. So let's do this. Let's move this up. Right? Because we always want to see the output. Yeah. Let's, I don't think that's going to... I need to rerun this. You'll have to add tests soon to some projects, learning a lot. And right, we're spelunking into this and trying to figure out how this runs. I'd really like to see tests as a first-class citizen in the dashboard so that I can run tests and see, or have a test item that pops up here as another page that I can connect my tests somehow in app host. And they pop up and I can run them so that I don't have to go into all the things and run them individually here. So there it is, executing the command. Here we go. Okay. Sure looks like it's interacting with things. Looks like it. I can spit out the test results as HTML, use a small proxy server to host them from a local volume. Yes. Fair executed commands. Can log in, can change phone number, both failed. I think I'm okay with that. I really wanted to see the results come out, but if that's all it's going to give me. Now, does that actually appear? No. And it's not in my structured logs. I'm going to leave this for now. Yeah. Run tests command. No, gotta go up. Yeah. Added an aspire command to run playwright tests. It's an idea. Something we could share. Ads are starting right now on Twitch. If you're watching on YouTube, no ads. Who knew? It is still running. While it is still running, I should be able to go back into that end-to-end. If I run .NET test from here, it should start up and run the tests all locally. Does it connect to the correct IP address? I think so. There, those ran successfully. There are no ads at all during live on YouTube. If there are, I don't control them. But on YouTube, just like on Twitch, if you're a subscriber, if you subscribe to YouTube, if you subscribe to Twitch, they get hidden. They go away. That looks like it ran successfully. I'm going to merge that in as a spike. Just a concept. It's not something... I can close that. It's not something that's going to dramatically change the website or the way that we work with it. But it's something that we can discuss and tinker with in the future. So, and it's strictly a dev-only thing. So. Cool. All right. Let's get to the actual other issues that we're working on here. And one of them is right here. Introduce steps to build a Docker container for the web application. And I reopened this. And it's running out of a fixed Docker branch. So let's take a look at that. I can see my remote branches with the git branch -r. And it has way too many things over there. Do I have YouTube Premium? Yes. YouTube Premium will hide those ads for you. Yep. And the ads kicked in on Twitch then. Where was it? I don't see it here. Okay. Let's clean up some of these others. Issue 275. So GH pages is where our GitHub pages are. And actually, I think there's a pull request out here. We can merge real quick to clean that up. To play Logo WebM. I don't think that's a great idea. And also Logo WebM isn't in there. Because first off, it's not. Well, there it is. View raw. Sure, media player. And that's 298K. That's too big. Yeah. There we go. Hey, Codebase Alpha. Hello. And Chris Jones is here. Welcome. All right. I'm backing up to this Docker container, and I don't think the Docker file is here. Like, there it is referenced. There's the branch. It's not here. Right? Git checkout, track, origin. Fix underscore Docker. It's not here. Why can't I see it? Right there. I can get rid of that. I think we've done that. And that. But why can't I see that branch? Git pull origin. There we go. Much better. Ah, there we go. All right. Right. That doesn't exist. And the pull request that I have here is merging into main. That's probably okay. Probably. Let's open this with VS Code because we're going to be tinkering with those auxiliary scripts that are next to our code. Let's see if we can get this stuff tidied up. What's up, Fuel Snable? Clark with a question here. If it's not a complicated thing to explain, I'm building an API with Blazor WebAssembly front end. I want to see structured logs and all the Aspire sauce. I get it. When I run it locally, I understand it. Is there a way to run it on the server when deployed to act as a viewer, or is it just for local development? Is there a link with this concept explaining production? Here's the deal. There is the dashboard runs in a container, so you can run a version of the dashboard wherever you'd like. You want to run it, and where is it? .NET Aspire dashboard. There's a website, aspiredashboard.com, that tells you all about how you can get the container, set it up, and secure it. and integrate it into your application. If you're running on Azure Container Apps, there's a checkbox that you can add to turn it on. Like literally, it'll just turn on for you. But if you're running locally somewhere or you're running on-prem, you can start up your own version of this, okay, and integrate it into your application. All right. So there's instructions right there on this website about how to work with the standalone dashboard. Set it up so you still send telemetry over to it. So, massive refactor of your company's service layer, dropping core WCF support for plain old REST. That sounds like a good move without knowing too much of your project. Let me see what I can do to dial this in here. Oh, look, we've got some extensions that need to be updated. Sure, go ahead. Here's the Docker file on the... Stop it! Stop it! Use the ASP.NET base image. Bring in SharpSite CS Proj. Yada, 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 yada. Okay. In the SharpSite web folder, we're going to build it in release mode. Publish it. Copy the published output. That should give you all of these and have it running in a container. Should do it. Interesting, this... I need to have it update these so it reaches into the source folder. Hang on, let's just do... Oh, nuts. Ah, there it is. And now I can do multi-caret paste. Nice. Yeah, I think that works. So when on a Linux server, Clark asks, hosting the API and also the files, there's no problem setting up the dashboard. Do I understand it? Yeah. I'll still need the configuration all done manually, like wiring up IP addresses and so on. You're correct. Yes. So where .NET Aspire running locally automatically sends those location environment variables into the application for where the dashboard is that you're publishing to. Where you're running the dashboard at, you need to pass that information in with those same configuration environment variables into your application. Can use service discovery using app settings. You're going to need to wire up those environment variables yourself. Where a script, a bicep script, would deploy and run that for you. When under load, core WCF rapidly gets overwhelmed with queued requests. Ooh. Isn't like 8 already doing that kind of? 8? That's setting up the work directory inside the container. This is the local folder that you're reaching into. Copy that file out and put it into this folder inside of source, inside the container. Sometimes a little confusing. Yeah. Yeah, the AZD generates that bicep for you that has all of those environment variables wired up when you deploy to production. So that's the piece that you're kind of missing when you start doing some of these things yourself. Ocular Mouse is working on a .NET Aspire project for teaching, getting back to blogging all about the... That's cool. All right. Let's see if this will build an image here locally. Let's give it a try, right? So it's right there. So if I say Docker built, and I forget the... Is it -T for the tags? Yeah. Name and optionally a tag. All right, so right, if I do Docker build -T SharpSite web 1. You don't like that. And run locally. There you go. Ooh. It's doing things. Okay. Transferring context, loading build context. It's doing something. Oh, it's pulling in the base image here. Okay. Nope, that didn't work. That didn't work. Well, wait a sec. Yeah, error. Failed to compute cache key. Source, SharpSite service defaults. SharpSite service defaults CS proj. Oh, you know what? It's not in this one. Not in this branch. Yeah. Oh boy. Oh yeah. That's juicy. That's messy. Yeah, publish test results, and the other job here of publish container. I want both. Because it needs to finish running the tests. And then the publish container job down here at the bottom, which even then, no, I open the file. If we're pushing to main, yes. Yep, add that. Sure. All right. So now let's try that Docker file again. Because we should now have Yeah, we still have these other folders out here. I don't want to say SharpSite.star. No. No, no, no. Give me the... And let's do this. I'm going to grab you. No, control is what I want. Yep. Really? Really? I need permission to delete the folders? Really? Yes, close that. I wonder if it was trying to do something. No. Okay. Can I at least try and do the Docker build again? It's pulling in that container image again. Did I get over that system runtime not found? No. Do I think AI would take over the future and replace web dev? No. Determining projects to restore. Skipping project because it was not found. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I'm missing some there that I'm going to need to bring in. You sure you saw something in one of the CS proj files that was explicitly excluding runtime? Yeah, it's because Visual Studio runs on .NET Framework. And the task was being built with .NET 9 Confusion. So, okay. Yee. Okay. What's this? Discussion. Discussion? No. Down here. This. Yeah, I don't want a discussion. I want to... Where's Copilot chat? Update the list of projects copied into these into the container to include all dependencies of sharpsite.web. See what it can do. Yeah, see, there's a couple of other ones in here. SharpSite logging? There is no SharpSite logging. Review that list of projects again. the list you generated was wrong. Logging. I'll try a different model here. Repeat the last command. No. No. It's still pointing to this logging thing that doesn't exist. So this is where I get frustrated with Copilot, because it's clearly hallucinating, and it's not responding to me telling it that it's hallucinating. Go fix it. Like, sorry. Like, okay, these are the 4 direct dependencies. No, there's other ones here. Huh? Skipping source SharpSite plugins. Where'd the Docker file go? You go away. You go away. You can stay. Yeah, see, it's not there. But it is one of the ones that's referenced here. I oughta.
Oh my.
Right? Plugins. SharpSite abstractions. We missed the capital A. I think that's it. There's a central NuGet. We need a new sound effect for Copilot hallucination. You're not wrong. There's a central... I think I need to bring over directory build, directory packages, and NuGet config. Right, because NuGet 4... I'm probably okay on that. But, well, global JSON. Because the build runs inside. Now, global JSON I don't need because I already have the version number there. But I definitely need directory build and directory packages.
Squirrel!
No squirreling. Copy in the directory build and directory packages files. Thank you. Thank you. I think that's the last piece that I'm missing so that it knows the version references there, because we did centralized versioning of those. Skipping project, abstractions base, abstractions theme. Okay. So there's projects that I'm missing still that need to be brought over in that hierarchy. Okay. Ads are running for the next 2 minutes on Twitch. This should fail because those reference projects don't exist. Yeah. So SharpSite abstractions base, file storage, and theme. Copy. What? Copy the other abstractions projects. No, okay, go ahead. Show me the other ones. Really? 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 I don't think that works the way you think it does, Copilot. That SharpSite abstractions depends on. That's not a thing. That's not a thing. Yes. That's not a thing. No. I'll do it myself. No, don't. I don't need to look in there. It's base, file storage, and theme. No. Copilot, sometimes you are the dumbest smart guy. Okay. Try this again. Yeah. Thank you, Sarah. Could I make a build task to generate these lists? Maybe. Maybe. Okay. More than I'm missing here. The scope CSS file was defined, but no associated razor component or view was found for it. What? That's not bad. That's not bad. We're definitely getting somewhere. Let's go take a look at that. SharpSite Web. Components, admin. Plugin card raiser, CSS. Components, admin. Plugin card raiser, CSS. Why not? Is there something in that CS proj file that's not... I don't think these are supposed to be here. Same thing with that. Those are right. Try it again. Restored, yeah. The file changed, so it needs to redo this part. Here we go. Building. Program does not contain a static main method as a suitable entry point. What? Okay, so we've I have not seen that on a new .NET project that has top-level syntax. That's weird. Like, that's weird. Why would I be getting that? Right, it's running .NET build and specifying. So let's try doing this. Let's copy that command and try and run it here locally. Right, run it on my metal. Source SharpSite web, right? And .NET build, and I'm going to output, I'm going to create a dist folder. Go. So trying to run all of this locally, we're taking the container architecture out of the mix to see if we can get this to build properly. Where's that Robert Tables when I need him? Because I'm building and working with containers, and it works fine here. There it is, all sitting in that dist folder. Okay. Flip the container again. No, not that. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I get it. Yes. Build the Docker container. That one. Wrong folder. Huh. This is weird, chat room. I haven't seen this error in a long, long time. I haven't felt its presence in a very long time, since before the Clone Wars. It's here running .NET Build right there. Okay. This is only copying in the project files. It does a restore on the web project. And then it copies over everything. I don't want it to do that. And those files that it's copying over are probably in the wrong location. Hey, Thindall. How you doing there? I probably want to copy the contents of the source folder. I'm in the source folder, so I probably want to do that. Because the files are in the wrong location. Try that again. You took a power nap? Nice. That's no mistake there. That actually looks like it's building something. By copying over the CSproj files first and running the restore first, it caches these steps. Take a look over here. See, copying over those files took 0 seconds, and the .NET restore here took 0 seconds because it's cached that middleware. There we go. So by doing that steps, right? Thinking brain asking about why run these first. By taking those steps, we get Docker caches the results of each one of these commands, right? So that it doesn't have to run it again next time. So next time I make a change inside of a file, it will cache all the way down to line 27, and that'll be the first line that it actually does something. So if I go over here into program, right, and we just put something in here for the sake of, right? Console, right line, hello, chat room, right? If I rerun this, all of those steps, all the way down, check it out, all the way down to the point of the copy took 0 seconds. Right? It looked at its internal Docker things, but all the way down to here, 0 seconds, and then it copied in. It had to copy the files over into the container, and now it's doing the build, so it only takes me 12 seconds. And I forgot to put system in front of it, right? So if I put that fix in and I rerun this, once again, 0 seconds, it's able to jump right down to, because it knows there's no changes, right up to the point that it copies into files. There's a different hash of that content, and we're able to build and do those things. You're going to do this to me. Really? Really? Whatever. So it's building, it's giving me that content, and see, since it already ran once with that hashed content, it gives me 0 seconds, and it's just done. So I now have a container. I'd like the container to have as its tag the version number. Right, so look at all these that I have here locally, and look at all these nuns. Ugh. But this one, I'm going to go delete, because I don't need it anymore. Docker, RMI, SharpSite Web 1. Cool. So the Docker file looks like it works. And I'm good with that. Next step. Back over here, I need to identify the tag on the current release. Oh, with a small L. Thank you. Thank you. Why is my camera getting jumpy here? So setup.net, log into the GitHub container registry, build the Docker image. And I don't want to... That's a nice initial tag. I'd like to get the version number of the tag attached to this. Yeah. So how do I do that? Oh, Copilot. Get the tag, if any, attached to the current, to the, here, let me bring this over so you can see what I'm typing. That's, to the current commit, and use that tag as an additional tag on the container. Also, add a tag to the container for latest. Let's see what it says. This is with the 01 model. We'll see what it comes up with here for us. So, I had a lowercase L. Oh man, that's such a I feel like that's such a easy mistake that I shouldn't be making. Oh my gosh. Okay, below is a possible change. Yeah. Steps, get tag outputs, tag name, extract tag name. Okay, sure. Put that in. But it didn't do anything. It didn't do anything. I have no idea what it just did, but it didn't do what I wanted it to do. Get the current tag. Build the Docker image. Docker tag. And then push the Docker image. Cool. That looks right. What else did it do up here? No. I think we're okay. That's okay. That's okay. That's okay. Sure, give me a commit message. Looks good. Did it sync? Did it send it up? Nope. I'm going to close this and reopen it. Cross forks. I'm gonna grab mine. Yeah, I'm trying not to, friend. You didn't give me a chance to select yet. And I want to merge that into 06. I think, yeah, that looks like everything. Add Docker container. Construction. On merge to main. Cool. Playwright test, playwright test. Why is it running playwright test twice? That's the old one. You, go away. So that should all run properly, and then we can get that merged in. Why has no one created an AI assistant called Buddy? As in, hey, Buddy, help me out here? Because you're going to say that a lot. Just came from a meeting with Microsoft folks talking about talking sales about Copilot Studio. Fun. There it goes. My older daughter is she's graduating in May, and she'll be graduating and with a degree in teaching. And there's schools she's looking at applying to, and the most recent school that she's looking at, there's some folks of notoriety that went to that school. Here it goes. Total of test files matching the pattern. Go ahead, run it. Run it. Error failed. Yeah, the reliability of these I still call into question here. But the other test ran just fine. Hello, computer. Yeah. That's another one. I think I can